Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be designing a horizontal layout in my catch-all planner for the next week in August. So come plan with me. And I've got some washi tapes here all ready to go, as well as this PET tape that I may use, some calligraphy ink and a brush for some splattering, and these sticker books, which I'll pull from. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and lay down some wax paper and get started here on the design, as per usual. I have some ideas for this week's design, but we're going to see. I pulled a rainbow of different washis, and originally I was thinking to use all of those colors on each of the days, and now I'm thinking maybe I'll split it up into kind of color groups. So that's what I went ahead and did there, separating out the washi tapes, and we will see if that works out. I'm also just kind of flipping through the sticker books, looking for one of the major items I'm going to need for this design, which is a colorful box, but it needs to be big enough for me to put in my checklists each week. So I'm just trying to see what colors would match up with these color groups and see if I can get enough for each of the individual colors so that they match up. And I think those look pretty good. Just trying to see if there's anything else that would be a better fit. And I think we will stick with those for now. And then I had some saved washi there on that orange spool, so I'm just going to move that off and get started with the design. So a while back, I did a washi tape design on my horizontal, but I used a similar kind of methodology on the edges as a border. And I just really loved the effect that had. Easy idea, but really big impact that it had on the spread and then all the color. So we're going to try to recreate that a little bit here today, just in a different way. The idea here is to create a background with some overlaid washi in various colors and do an alternating day theme. So basically, I'm going to create a background on each of the alternating days, and then the other days I'll leave, but using those colorful boxes as a way to make the day still very functional, but still able to do the decor that I was envisioning. So I think I'm going to need about 3 colors each to really get the variety that I'm looking for with the overlaying of the washi tapes. And originally I was going to grab the lightest shade from the previous day and add it to the next day, since I wasn't sure I was going to have enough of the colors. But I don't know. I feel like the orange, yellow, green will be a little bit too varied as far as the color schemes. So I may need to go into my stash and see if there's another in-between color between the yellow and the green that helps guide this a little bit better and not be so jarring as far as the color switching here on the day. So I'm going to go ahead and get started just by laying in the swatches here of the washi with the colors that I've already decided on. And you can see I'm trying out those colors that I was thinking with the orange. I do have a yellow and a green in my stash that's a little bit in between these two colors. I think that one of those is a better fit. And I think this muted yellow tone will work better, so we're going to go ahead and drop that in instead. That way, again, it's like you see the variation, but the colors are still in the yellow-green theme versus a stark contrast all the way from orange to green. So that's what I tried to do basically on all of the days, limit it to 3 colors and having the washi be in between only 2 colors. So between yellow and green, the top is like pink and orange, and then the rest will be kind of blue-green and blue-purple. And this one I fiddled with a little bit just because I wanted to be sure that the day wasn't covered up when I laid down the washi tape. And then also too, I wanted the balance to be a little bit better so that you could see the washi coming out from the bottom of the colored box more than it was. So I'm just going to do a little bit of adjusting here, shift some things around. Hopefully get a little bit of a better composition with this washi. And that looks good. Wasn't sure if I was going to stagger the boxes, but I think it'll just look better if it's aligned here on the left side of the day each time. So we're going to go with that. So I went into my stash for another in-between color for the opposite side of the page. And so this one's going to be more of like a aqua color into more of a soft blue tone. And the method I'm really using to lay this down is pretty freeform. There's nothing that I'm following as far as a guide. Trying to limit the sizes of the washi so that they're pretty much contained within the day. It's okay if there's a few that are outside of the lines, but limiting how tall the washis are. And then also to kind of varying the angle of the washi as I lay it down. I'm also layering them in order, so as I go from left to right, I'm layering that one on top of the previous one. That way it has a little bit of consistency there with the color mixing of the washi. So we've got that top one in. We've got one more to go here. Go ahead and get started with the elements I'll need for that. And this is working pretty well. Luckily, I have a lot of these solid washis in my stash, but they're just so fun to work with. They can do a lot of different things in different situations, and I just love mixing and matching them on top of each other, creating different effects. So, okay, I think we've got that last day in too. And now let's see what else we're going to add in on those days where I don't have any boxes or anything at this moment. I did think that I might add in a focus box alongside my checklist box there on each of those days, but I end up changing the staggering of the alternating days so that they really only fall on Monday and Wednesday where I feel like I might need a focus box. The rest of the days will be fine, I think, without, because it would be a Saturday, which I really don't have much going on, and then on the This Week box, which I don't necessarily need a focus box for that. So we'll just leave them as is. I think it's just a stronger composition without them, and hopefully I won't have too much stuff that I need to do on one of those Monday or Wednesday days where I might need a focus box, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I did go back and forth into that Colorful Boxes sticker book looking for maybe another option for those days, but again, decided against adding in an extra box. And then I ended up replacing the softer orange tone box from the Happy Planner with one yellow box from Anna Bean's sticker book. She has some nice square colorful boxes in her book, and I needed a good yellow box, so I pulled that one in. So now I'm in the Ingrid's Blooms sticker book looking for just like some other decor elements. Honestly, this spread looks pretty good as is. I think you could really get away with just sticking with colorful boxes and washi and make a good spread. But I did feel like I wanted to add a little bit of something else to, especially those days where there's really no decor. So I'm looking through, just kind of seeing if there's anything that I think might be able to play with this semi-rainbow theme and also give a little bit of something extra as far as detail and decor. And I thought that might be good, but the boxes here in this book are made for a big happy planner, so just a little too oversized. I might have been able to cut it down, but I don't know, it just wasn't quite working for me with that layering. So I went back in to see if there's anything else I thought I might use. And then I came across this page of watercolor florals that may be able to fit the bill. So I'll start to pull those in to see how they might look on those days again where I don't have the washi tape. Seeing how they mix and match. Mainly focusing in on the color scheme. So I wanted to make sure that these elements I'm bringing in continue that rainbow idea. I needed a purple that I couldn't really find in a small enough sticker. So I'm just going to cut out what I need from this larger sticker. And it's not a perfect cut, but I think it'll do the job. Remembering that I'm going to be flipping out which days go in what order, so there'll be a little bit of a change coming. Just going to go ahead and spool up that extra orange washi that I had. I want to save and get started on laying these down onto the page. So we're going to go ahead and roll off these days one by one, starting with Monday. And that worked out really well, actually. I'm really liking the semi-transparent nature of the washi tape overlaid here on the day. I think it just adds a little bit of extra something to it. And then we'll add in here the focus box and decor sticker. But I wanted to limit the color palette a little bit, so I went ahead and cut out the areas that were mainly pink and just kind of stick with the more yellow tones, a little bit of green there as well. Then we'll go ahead and place the other one down here at the bottom. Again, layering in that sticker. And then here's where I made the adjustment for the alternating days, moving that one box above the blue box. It might not be as accurate as far as the rainbow color scheme, but I think it definitely works a little bit better overall. So I was happy I made that decision. I'm also gonna make sure that this box is straight while I'm laying it down. And then just roll it off the washi. It looks good. We'll go ahead and do the other focus box there with the purple tone. And that was so that I could roll off Wednesday's yellow and green section. I think that looks good. I'm okay with it going over the day just slightly. I was going to make an adjustment, but then change my mind. I will clean up a little bit here on the edges so you can see more of the washi from below, and then reset the box just so it's nice and straight. And then finally we'll do the last day down here. Again, just fine-tuning some of those elements so that it sits nicely on the day area. And then roll it off. Easy peasy. So everything looks good. I have one more thing that I want to do, which is to add a bit of white calligraphy ink on top of some of these colored areas for a bit more texture. I'm going to do that real quick. It's just some calligraphy ink that I picked up in Michael's. it's very much like the ink that you would use in a gel pen as far as it being like a water-based white tone. And again, looks really good over top of the color, but blends into the paper. If you get too much overlap onto your page, you can not worry because it will be hidden by the white of the paper. So this does take a bit to dry. I'm going to go ahead and move it off. And then I saw that there was a little bit of splatter in that Ingrid Bloom's sticker book and thought maybe I could add a little bit more texture here to the other days as well in the actual color that matches up with what's there. And that really worked out nicely, just kind of reiterates that texture again and looks good, I think, overall. I'm sorry, that's a little bit off camera. It was just so that I wouldn't touch the white ink. I was trying to be careful as it dries so that I don't smear the ink over top of the washi tape. Looks good. Most of the ink is dry, so we're going to go ahead and drop it in. And then I remembered that I wanted to do some checklists as well. So it looks like we're done, but we're really not. I'm going to finish up with some mild liners, adding in a rainbow of checklists down the spread. And then once I'm done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye.